Hi, it's Psychic Cynthia here, and happy almost full moon in Taurus. Welcome to November as well. It's one of my favorite months. It's one of the most magical months. It's a time when the veil isn't just thinning, but has thinned, so we can really feel the spirits walking with us as we walk with them. This full moon will be exact on Wednesday morning. That would be Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, at around, in my time zone, it's going to be 7:19 a.m. Central Standard Time Zone in America, in the United States. But basically, when it's exact in the morning like that, you can think about the energy building all night long the night before. So here on Tuesday night, we'll see that full moon rising, almost full moon, and then it will activate exact, and we'll feel the power all the day through Wednesday, and really it's the beginning of a new 2-week cycle of closing things up. It's a very interesting full moon because the day before here we're having Mercury entering the pre-retrograde storm, so we're gearing up for that retrograde. So there's a little bit of that friction in the air already, and when you add that in with the full moon, there's a lot of energy right now. Okay, it's pretty intense. The moon will be in Taurus at the time of this full moon, but the sun will be in Scorpio, so we're riding that Scorpio-Taurus polarity. And basically, this is going to bring up relationship issues, financial issues, even just issues around your life force and your vitality, because these two signs are really tied to that. Taurus is connected to your physical vitality, your connection to the earth itself, the land, your body. And then Scorpio has more of a heart energy component, an ethereal component, an etheric component. So, yeah, energy levels are at an issue now. And when this is activated, okay, basically, you know, you want to look at, and you are going to look at, maybe you don't want to look at it, first of all, because there is an element, whenever Scorpio is involved, it might cause you to look at things you don't want to look at. But you need to look at them. So what we're looking at here for you, for me, for all of us, is our values and what we value, our sense of self-worth, and then also valuing others and the balance between that. This is going to be brought to a highlight in your relationships, and you want to look at making that adjustment if it's needed. You know, this full moon doesn't have any major planets touching really the moon itself or the sun itself. Like, that configuration is not being as influenced directly by the other planets, but there are things happening with Venus right now, for example, and Mars, that show that maybe, you know, you want to look at, have you been not valuing yourself enough? Have you maybe been putting more emphasis on valuing others and not taking care of yourself? You know, and maybe not, but look at your relationships. Does there need to be adjustments? And be mindful right now about dramas and entanglements. Don't let those take you off your game, okay? Your emphasis right now should be on building your own self-worth, also building up for your family, your immediate circle of loved ones, growing. This morning, my guides were talking to me about not just this full moon, but this time being a time of growth, that we need to focus on growing and making and allowing the positive change to come in. And here's a tip: if you want change, you have to be willing to change. I know that sounds obvious, but often, even at the very moment when we are asking for positive change, we're resisting change at the same time. We're resisting doing what needs to be done. You know, yeah, we just resist, and you can't usher in change. You can't welcome and invite change without changing, without letting go, without growing. So some affirmations that you might find helpful right now are something like, I'm open to change and grow. I'm open to evolve and let go. I'm open to move with the flow. This will help you because, there's a real tendency to hold on right now with this full moon in Taurus and the sun in Scorpio. There's a tendency to just be rigid and try to hold still, even at the same time when you're asking for greater love in your life and greater abundance. I mean, the truth is, sometimes you have to let go of one so-called opportunity to embrace another. By the way, that's true whether it's money or love we're talking about, or spiritual growth. Sometime you want to go on a new spiritual path, you have to leave the old one behind. So there's a balance right now between building and accumulating and growing your wealth on any level, because those are all Taurus ideas, versus also letting go. I mean, have you ever grown anything like a garden or a plant in the ground? Anybody who's ever grown anything knows when you go to that piece of land, especially if something's not been grown there before, you have to clear out the dead wood. You have to remove the old, dried leaves. You have to take out the weeds. Sometimes you even have to rip out something that's really pretty and nice to put in something else that you want to put in. I generally try not to do that too much. And yeah, if it's already nice, maybe you leave it. And that's part of the Taurus vibes. It's like looking at what is already beautiful in your life, appreciating it. But listen, if something in your life isn't fitting anymore, whether that is a way of being, a way of doing things, or a relationship, or a job, or a living arrangement, if it's just not fitting anymore, it's time to look at, what you need to change in your own habits, your own structures, your own heart. Maybe even just changing a viewpoint. But yes, if you want change, if things aren't working in an area, just be willing to embrace the new, and like I said with the affirmations, to grow, to evolve. Evolution means leaving behind the old forms. That dead wood and those old leaves, they can all be used as part of the compost in a way for future things, but they do need to be cleared out if you're going to plant directly, if you're going to plant new seeds. So just keep all of that in mind. And this full moon very much brings up issues of sexuality and connection, sharing resources, sharing love. Love is a resource. Passion, these are resources. Shared goals. So you want to look at how well you're sharing. And maybe even, dare I say, how well other people in your life are sharing. Are they sharing with you? Are they sharing their wealth, their love, their talents, their attention, their time? Or are they making it all about them? I mean, if you're involved in a quote-unquote partnership that is placing you at the bottom, and that other person is always making it all about them, you want to think about moving in a different direction, either in that partnership, if the two of you are able to work on it together, or, like I said, evolving, growing, moving on, going with the flow. If that seems right to you, you have to feel into it with your heart, also use your logic. But yes, look ahead. You're planning for your future here with the Taurus vibration. You're trying to build something of worth and value, and you want to do that with good materials. And again, that's why we clear out the dead wood, okay? And looking at the resources in your life. Yes, actual financial, but also your habits. Your strongest resources are your connections with other people, the love you share, and the quality of that love. And then also your own habits, your own thought patterns, and your own actions. Actually, Taurus is very much a sign of action. It may be a slow and steady action. It's slow magic. Slow and steady and committed to the path. So what do you want to commit with? Use your resources. What and who? You know, where do you want to invest your resources, your energies, your good materials? Think about that. And then get busy building something very beautiful. And if you have to tear down a little to build, that's okay. That happens sometimes. Have you ever had remodeling? Or I bet you've at least, driven, by a street or on a street that was in the process of getting rebuilt. Streets have to be rebuilt. Homes have to be remodeled. Lives have to be restructured and remodeled. So that's that Taurus Scorpio balance there, and we have a lot of that being activated right now. And yes, there is much happening in the relationship realms and the financial realms. Watch out, because Mars is opposing Uranus and bringing up just basically a focus on confrontation and challenges. So do expect some confrontation and challenges. Taurus is usually a pretty peaceful sign, usually, until it erupts. So there may be some eruptions now, but sometimes we got to let it spill out so we can say things if we've been holding it down. Just try to be intelligent about it, try to be wise. Okay. Well, happy full moon. I love the full moon time. I don't care how crazy the energy gets. Who doesn't love looking at the beauty of the full moon? I hope we get to see her rise here tonight. We've got some clouds. We'll see. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow night I can catch it when it's still almost full. So I hope you get to see her too. Go out, get under the moonlight if you can in the next few days, and let it permeate your aura, let it calm you, and just fill you up with that lunar energy. Until next time, I'm Psychic Cynthia, and I'm wishing you much blessings, much peace, much abundance, love, and happiness in the weeks ahead.